What's up, y'all? Big Red here, coming at you another Fallout 76 video on the channel. Hope my fellow bot girls out there at the robbing and surviving in the wasteland. Let's get right into it. Is blood sacrifice any good? Is it worth it? Can you build a good enough tanky build? Will it be able to compete with the Furious low health, Furious full health? How will it stack against the Unlimited Vats build that we did the other day? That is what the video is going to be out. So thank you for tuning in and watching. Appreciate y'all. Just saw we had blood sacrifice, which trades your health instead of using your AP. You use your health. So the key of the build is going to be as tanky and have as much endurance and health that we can have. So life giver is definitely essential. All your basic heavy gunner cards, your crippling cards, your onslaught mechanics. We'll go over the build more later. And obviously, you know, your better criticals, bloody mess. Take a win for the team to get the multiplicative 40% bonus. Definitely helps you. It is definitely interesting mechanics that has been brought into the game. Bullet shields definitely essential. You definitely need that. Iron stomach does help. Yeah, you run with good assault in this event. I just changed it just because there's no only one enemy. So. The weapon that we'll be utilizing will be a vampires, gatlin plasma. You gotta have a vampires. Restore your health, weapon speed with action point costs. And with the vampires, we can put the weak point damage with our pinpointers on there. And we get our calibrate capacitor, extra 100% crit damage. You can't go with stinging cork, it costs too much for your health. You gotta go with the swift, reflex sight, accelerated nozzle. It gives you a fire rate of 136, which really benefits you with your vampire's effect too. It keeps you alive and it gets you melting bosses down. Medic pump, I would suggest, especially for this event. So when you get below 50%, you'll kick a stim pack in and you'll get there because the snake is so high. Plus 2 intelligence on your helmet, add to your overall damage from your energy from science perk. It is definitely, it's a fun way to play, and it's a way that it should be good for next update. I don't think they're changing this, so this should be a valid Unlimited Vats build that will carry over. All right, here we go again. So, hey, Snaky Poo, what you doing, buddy? Anything that could get the snake down. Look at that, 2556. That is really good. That is right up there with the Furious. Because, you know, with the Furious, you got to run with conductors. With the vampires, we can run with pinpointers. 3629 on their taking one for the team criticals. And under 30-second time solo snake. Yes, blood sacrifice is worth your money. It's worth your time. It's worth your grind if you haven't leveled it up yet. All right, let's see what a full health. Well, first, let me show you the buffs. Then we'll go, like I said, we'll go over the cards a little more in detail, but I'll go over the buffs that we used. We should see we had some serums, got some negative effects, as I always do, but bobblehead big guns give us an extra 20% damage for our big guns. And all our tests will be the same. We'll have the same buffs going, we'll have a Tesla Science at 9 for extra 100% crit damage. And look at the extra damage we're getting from energy, you know, 31%. That's really good. For Black Eyed Susans, it's really a good reason to play Herbivore with Company Tea and Sweet Mupper Tea. That's 3 good buffs that you get from Herbivore, and they're really boosted pretty high that I think it's worth playing Herbivore for. I know Carnivore is easier because everything, there's so many good Carnivore camp items, but there's so much more powerful Herbivore, especially when dealing with Vats. Brain bombs add to our intelligence, which add to our damage. Cranberry meatball ground. You do want something to boost your HP. The more HP you have, the more you're gonna be able to maintain your Vats. So cranberry meatball ground, tater salad would work, or hot dog. Silk bean soup definitely adds to our endurance. Our endurance is 38. Our HP is 828. That is super high. We have super AP pull from our HP. Mutations, adrenal action, when we stack damage up, we got more than one enemy. Bird bones gives us more agility. Eagle eyes gives us more crit damage. Egghead gives us more damage, plus 8 intelligence. Electric charge for pesky things. Herbivore, like I said, really powerful. Hermetality to get our luck up high enough. Marsupial for jumping. Speed demon for reloading. Twisted muscles for this season. Still does limb damage. Unstable isotope to kill those pesky little things. And our armor is full set of overeaters. +2 endurance gives us an extra 10 to our endurance. We got through hikers to free up space in your loadout. Limit breakers, full set. That way we get our luck. At 17, we get our crits every second shot. Calibrated shocks for carry weight. And the medic pump. Turn on database. All right. On to the next one. This will be a full health Furious. With crit damage, with minus action point costs, with the conductor's effect, so we can get unlimited vats. With this way, we still get the calibrate capacitor, but we get the swift core, reflex sight, accelerated nozzle, but we can't go with weapon speed, so our fire rate's a little bit lower, but we do get crit damage. And we also have to have a full set of scanners to reduce our AP cost down like to 6.75, which is manageable with the conductor's effect. If we get our AP up to close to 500 in the 400s, then they're both overeaters with kinetic dynamo. That way we get a little bit of AP replaced from the damage that we're taking. Same buffs and same loadout will be. You have a free card available, so that's kept Funky does on there, so we're not using blood sacrifice. We could have invested a little bit more into intelligence with power user, but I just kept it on with the extra poison resist. All right, so we can see how this is going to maintain in vats. It's doing pretty good. You look at the AP pool, 2568 on some of those criticals. Very close to purse numbers are very close. Looking very good. What's up, Snakey Poo? Man, we thought Earl had bad breath. Let's brush those teeth. 38-33. That's a little bit higher. But the weapon speed with the vampires outperforms the full health Furious. Like 4 seconds. I mean, they both did pretty good maintaining bats, but the good thing is that I think the blood sacrifice will be good for next season, for next update, I believe. The scanners one, we won't be able to get a crit every second shot if you use that. It'll be like every third shot. All right, let's show what the low health version will do, and we'll compare them. It's the same gatlin plasma, same build. We're just into, well, it's not really a nerd rage anymore, but we're into emergency protocol limits at that 20%. Maximize nerd rage and utilize emergency protocols. It's playing low health. 2794, so it's getting more damage, about 200 more damage in both the vampire and the full health Furious. Maintaining vats pretty well, over 4,000 on the take one for the team criticals. That is sick. That is like 500 more than the vampires. But because the vampires doesn't have to come out of vats, it can stay locked in, don't have to spam any stim packs, it can outperform the low health, full max, Furious unlimited vats with conductors. Pretty interesting. Let's do one more. Let's compare it to the Ghoul. All right, here you are with the Ghoul. We got the Furious, same weapon, crit damage, action point with the conductors. But we have the prime receiver to lower the AP cost for the Ghoul because our AP pool is not as high. So you don't got thirst quencher to tap into. So we have to lower down the AP cost that way, which will change next season. But for this season, this setup does really well for Ghoul for unlimited vats. If you haven't seen that video, you can go back and check it out. Very easy to maintain and get really good damage. I mean, it'd be even more if we could have a calibrated capacitor. That's what the human has going for it. The vampire has it for the weapon speed. It has weapon speed, and we put the calibrated capacitor and put a pin pointers on it. So 2531. So you got faulty spots, brick wall. Those two cards you don't have as a human, or glowing criticals. Now take one for team, 36, 38. So they're about the same we were getting with the vampires and with the full health Furious. 28:44. I mean, that's right, still under 30-second time. That and the vampire are really close. All right, let's compare them. All right. The vampire, because it can have weapon speed with accelerated nozzle, and it has pinpointers and calibrating faster. It makes up for what it gets for lack of stacks that the other three get as a Furious. And even it's neck and neck with low health. The low health, you're going to have to spam stim packs. But the Ghoul's not able to, it don't get staggered, so it pushes through with brick wall. But the vampire still almost closes the gap. The vampire was ahead of all of them before they got staggered. And still, it was a second and 0.2 seconds. It was behind the Ghoul. It would have, without it being staggered, it would have beat all of them. So it is definitely a valid way to play. It has a lot of benefits from it. It's super tanky. It makes up for it not having conductors, but having pinpointers, and you can have weapon speed on top of accelerated nozzles. So it is a very valid option. We need to go against Earl and really see how it stands. And yeah, so let's go see Mr. Earl Williams and check it out. Here we go. Fast forward a little bit. Everything's the same. Same armor, same buffs going. Now, armor does help you, to get your endurance up to that 700 threshold. Plus, like I said, a cranberry ball grinder or hot dog or taco salad will also boost you up. Got enough luck. We'll get a crit every second shot. Use a danger roll. They don't use the danger roll on the snake because it is like it wastes time. By the time you shoot the danger roll, switch weapons, you've already missed out on firing for like 6-7 seconds, which is a lot when you have especially with the gatlin plasma with the fire rate as high as it is. All right, so how will this stack up? Being toe-to-toe with old Mr. Earl. I think it's gonna be better because we're closer. Like with the snake, we get our health down pretty low whenever we're firing. As you can see with Earl though, when your enemy is close and you're hitting your enemy in close range, you're constantly replenishing your health, and very easy to maintain. Snake's probably more of a challenge because his head, he's so high up there, the travel distance between your shots. As you see, it's doing really well. I think we're 40 seconds. Got him. Probably had about halfway down, about within a minute. Yeah, we got about halfway now. That's really good. No problem maintaining vats. Super tanky. 1524, really good numbers on that. That's with 5 stacks of adrenaline. Once Earl's crippled, it's really not even a challenge. He becomes our test dummy. We almost got a full stack of adrenaline. 1631. I think it's as good as we're going to get it. It'd be almost close to 17 within one more stack. Super good damage. Super powerful, like I said, super tanky. And no problem. 1 minute and 50 seconds with Earl. Under 2 seconds. That is a Class A weapon. Class A build, able to take Earl down less than 2 minutes. Super good. I'm super stoked about that. I just do one more run and compare it to, we'll go with the low health with max damage. All right, we'll fast forward a little bit. Same Furious crit damage and axe point with the conductors. We got ourselves into emergency protocol range and maximize our nerd rage damage. Now on this one, I didn't get a lot of Wendigos come to me, so I didn't get a lot of stacks. But out of the runs I did get max stacks on my adrenaline, I didn't get as good of a time. So this had the better time, even though I didn't get as many stacks, but I never got staggered by the Wendigos. I didn't have to come off shooting Earl. So a lot of different variables come into play, you know, when you're doing these tests. And I'd probably take adrenaline off would probably be the better accurate way, but 14, 15 on some of those crits without any adrenaline stack. I get like 1 stack. I don't know why they didn't come to me. If you don't want them to, they won't. If you do, they will. But yeah, probably take adrenaline off, but I like a more real world feel type of test. I do my best to try to, when the Wendigos are there, to stack up the damage the same way every time to be consistent with it. But as you can see, as far as staying in vats, it's doing pretty decent with the conductor's effect. It's maintaining. So I don't know. Do you think it's better than the vampire, the blood sacrifice? I don't know. It's gonna be pretty close. Dang, Earl. That's good. Let's brush those teeth, Earl. It all, see, it almost went through the whole core. It ran out just right there at the very end. So it does seem like, you know, the blood sacrifice, unlimited vats, it works a little bit better for unlimited vats. All right, minute and 52. So it was a little bit behind the vampire, the blood sacrifice. All right, let's show real quick the full health. It does a little bit better with kinetic dynamo of maintaining and staying in vats. All right, so we're going to do, like I said, the full health, because I think when you put the kinetic dynamo in there, it actually does a little bit better. The Earl's such a tanky target. We're able to really see how our unlimited vats work. So kinetic dynamo gives us 20% action points restored for our damage taken. So that's going to boost our AP up whenever we're getting close to running out, like we did with the low health version. We about ran out at the end of the core. We won't do that with the full health. So it is a way to go. It is a little bit less damage, but you know, you are more tankier. Either way, you're in power warmer, so it's really not hard when you're in power warmer. I mean, in this game, maybe the snake, it can take you out pretty quick with its poison, but all the other bosses is not really hard. 1281, so it's a little bit behind the low health, but and a little bit behind the vampires with the pinpointers on it. But you can see when we get hit, it does help our action points to get restored whenever Earl hits us with the fireball. So it is a valid way to play. So we're really close. Boom, we get hit, we get a little bit of action point back. Get hit again, we get a little bit of action points back. So as far as just on a basis, there goes again, on unlimited vats, full health version does work a little bit better with this. If you're going to go with their Furious with your scanners, and you don't want to run a vampires with pinpointers and blood sacrifice, then this would be the way I would suggest as a human to really truly maintain unlimited vats. And we'll see, you know, videos to come, vats versus non-vats with the next update, and maybe it'll finally get to that place where we don't have to have vats. But 1735 with a full stack of adrenaline. Yeah, I'm saying this game's so buggy. You got a full stack, you get a worse time than I don't have any stacks, and so everything has to be taken with a grain of salt. It is Bethesda, but it does show you just how, like I said, how that kinetic dynamo really works really well with this setup. We almost got him down. Dang, girl, we're gonna go ahead and put you down today, buddy. Sorry, time to clock out. 204, not terrible, almost a sub 2 time. Still pretty good in my book. All right, let's compare them. All right, vampires on top, low health in the middle, full health on the bottom. They all start off pretty close. I mean, you're getting more damage, obviously, with the low health. But like I said, the vampires, you know, with its weapon speed, keeps it right in there. Their damage were pretty similar. Now, I know the low health did have a full stack of adrenaline, but full health did, and it still fell behind. All right, now we're seeing them going neck to neck. Anytime the vampires gets get a little bit behind, it catches right back up because of its weapon speed. Very competitive. You see, vampires got a little bit behind, but watch, it's gonna close the gap again. Very competitive between the vampires and the low health Furious. See, the vampires gets a little bit ahead. And someone of them gets staggered here in a second, and it looks like the low health is going to take the cake and win, and the low health gets staggered, and the vampires winds up passing it up. And the full health just got behind. This gives you a wide variety of seeing the different ways in this season which you want to use your heavy gun. And you can replace this with the Gauss minigun, you know, and use it too. It'll get good damage. Not as good as the gatlin plasma right now, but you can put any heavy weapon in one of these builds and you'll do really well. Even a commando weapon. You can see vampires winds up barely beating the low health. Full health is still going. It's about 12 seconds longer with going full health. So in the grand scheme of things, it's your wasteland. We're just living in it. If you still get good damage, but you get better unlimited vats with full health than with the low health version. But the vampires really takes the cake again. All right, let's go see the Guardian. One more round, a little test. All right, we'll fast forward a little bit. The only thing in the build you gotta change is make sure you put your center masochist on there to get your damage. But other than that, the loadout really stays the same. Well, interesting to see how how will it affect as we're consuming our health to maintain our AP whenever he shoots his missiles. So we're gonna go off the platform, which we'll have to do next season anyway, and just to see how it will stack up. Will it be tanky enough? We're consuming our AP with our health. It's getting down a little bit. Health is maintaining even when he's firing his missiles at us. Being that he's kind of close, it is helping us. Yeah, it's able to maintain, switch over, and now we're taking the torso out. Doing pretty well. It's not the pepper shaker or a shredder. Pepper shaker does really good for ranged weapons, and shredder is obviously the king, but 44-second time, that's still not bad. Really just want to test how tanky it would be with the vampires and consuming our health. Yeah, I did really well. So, all right, on to the next, which is going to be our Furious full health with kinetic dynamo. Fast forward a little bit. Now, one thing like the vampires, I don't think the pinpointers, I don't think we're getting the extra weak point damage on the torso. So that might make a little bit of a difference. With the Furious, it's still going to get all it stacked. And we're also comparing AP, and it's maintaining its AP pretty decently. Tanky enough. Bringing the show down pretty good. Times look very similar. Yeah. The Vampires has the weapon speed going for it, where the Furious still gets its stacks, but the Vampires don't get its pinpointers, so 3407. We're talking about 0.650, half a second. I mean, such a fine little difference, but 2 out of 3 bosses, I call that even. So, because you're not getting pinpointers, so I call that a good solid build for our blood sacrifice. 9 in strength, 8 in perception, 9 in endurance, 3 in charisma, 7 in intelligence, 10 in agility, and 10 in luck before the application of legendary perks. I call that pretty good in my book. To me, Earl is a better test. We got scatter shot and easy target that help with the crippling damage. We got all our heavy gunners maxed out for getting our damage from our heavy guns. I got number cruncher to get damage from our AP cost. Tormentor getting more crippling damage for each limb that's crippled. Concentrated fire get our Vats accuracy up and gives us a little bit of extra damage, 3%. Life giver definitely essential. More health, the more AP you have. You want to be tanky as you can. Iron stomach adds damage resist. Natural resistance for elemental. Thirst quencher for AP. Bullet shield for reflection. Very powerful card. Fireproof for tankiness. Radical shouldn't be on here. It should be ironclad at 1. I did a bloody run, about to take it off. So ironclad at 1. Starch steams keep your mutations. Stranger numbers to boost your mutations. Tenderizer for those boss fights, get that extra 100% damage once you hit the same target 100 times. Consecutively, stabilize for more for armor penetration. Science, you saw we were getting really good damage boost from Science. Very good card, 30% extra damage. Batteries included for carry weight of our ammo. Gunslinger to get the weak point damage. All our onslaught mechanics to get 9 stacks. Born Survivor when I'm going against a snake. If we're not going against a snake, then I would take off Born Survivor and put Gorilla at a 2, Gun Fu at a 1, and Adrenaline at a 2. That's what I did against Earl and against other, going through other events. I'd have that 1 gun army for staggering, bloody mess, better criticals, extra 100% critical damage, critical savvy, working with limit breaking, get our crits every second shot, luck at 17. Good with Salt, I'll switch it out, put, Ricochet at 1 and Grim Reaper Sprint at 1, and unless I'm going against Earl, then I'll just put Grim Reaper Sprint at 2. Otherwise, in a lot of events I've run good with Salt. I always have food buffs on me. And 4 legendaries, you need an extra 20 points. I don't know which one it is. An extra 20 points to the loadout, and obviously blood sacrifice. Take one for the team for the multiplicative damage that it gives us. That blood sacrifice for trading our health for our AP. So let me know, what do you think? Do you think it's worth it? I mean, it did 2 out of 3 bosses. It was king. Called a draw on the Guardian because he can't really benefit for pinpointers. So overall, you think it's worth running blood sacrifice? You think it's a better way to play Unlimited Vats as a human? Is it worth the grind? I think it is. I give him a big red thumbs up. I think it's very effective, a different way, new mechanic, and it's very interesting. And it probably will still be valid next season. I don't think this is going to get changed, so you should be able to run this build next season for Unlimited Vats. Thank you for y'all's patience. Got anything out of it? Like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. Hope y'all thrive and survive out there. And this is Big Red. I'll see you in the next one.